Thanks for watching. Thank you for joining us here live and in person in Hollywood, California. Please relax. This is, I don't know if you know, this is one of our most anticipated days of the year in Hollywood. The nominations for the 97th Academy Awards. After a shaky couple of weeks, we finally have some good news. The list of Oscar nominees is out, and Matt Damon isn't on it again. It's the little things that keep me going. The most nominated film of the year is Emilia Perez. It got 13 nominations. I like that movie a lot. Casey, if you haven't seen it, it's basically a musical about if Caitlyn Jenner ran a drug cartel. Very good, though. There are several first-time acting nominees, including Demi Moore, Kieran Culkin, Ariana Grande, Zoe Saldana, and Sebastian Stan, who's up for Best Actor for his role in the movie The Apprentice, where he played the Donald Trump Melania wishes she was married to. Some people... I've heard a number of people saying the Oscars should be canceled because of the fire. I disagree. That would put thousands of people out of work. There are people who work at the show, people who work at the parties, valets, security guards. There's the guy who works the Manicam at E! You think that guy gets any work the rest of the year? No. The show must go on. And there's no question we've had a devastating month. But we're slowly getting back to doing what we do best, which is giving awards to movies no one has ever heard of or seen. We had some new wildfires popping up last night. One big one, which is very LA. We've already moved on to a younger, hotter fire. What they are calling the Hughes Fire, which is happening north of us near Castaic Lake, has burned more than 10,000 acres in less than 24 hours. Last night before the show, all of a sudden, 4 different people at different times came to me and said, hey, Guillermo's worried he might have to evacuate. I was like, oh, no. So I got my phone out and I looked at the map, and the fire was so far from Guillermo's house, I couldn't even widen out far enough to get them in the same screen, like I could see the outline of the whole state. And then I'm thinking, what is he worried about? What does he keep? And then I realized Guillermo's worried he might have to evacuate is code for Guillermo wants to go home early tonight. True?
It is true.
Guillermo, somebody came in and says, Guillermo said he lives 30 minutes from the fire. I was like, wait, what? Yeah, he lives 30 minutes from the fire. We're 40 minutes from Disneyland. If Space Mountain catches fire, I'm not evacuating the studio. Fortunately, our firefighters are doing a great job. Living in LA right now, they've been bombing it, fire with water. It's so fun to watch. Living in LA right now is like living with herpes. You could think it's under control. You have no idea when it's going to flare up again. The good news is we're finally supposed to get some rain this weekend. We are in the midst of a record dry spell. We've been having dry January. Everybody else has it in January. We've been having it since May here in LA. For 262 days, this city has been drier than Kanye's eyes at a screening of Schindler's List. I looked up what was going on the last time it rained here. It was the same day we learned that RFK Jr., during his divorce negotiation, told his ex-wife's lawyers that a worm ate part of his brain. That he said his doctor found a dead parasite in his head, and now he's going to be in charge of health and human services for the whole country. Tomorrow, President Trump is visiting L.A. He's coming to L.A. Well, he's here to blame us for the fires in person. It's the first time in history that a natural disaster will be visited by an even bigger natural disaster. He's coming to, I guess, to survey the damage and meet with the governor, mostly to get away from Elon for a couple of days. You know, we knew Donald Trump was going to be terrible. And when I say we, I mean, you know, us here in the room. But we didn't know he would be so terrible that he would actually threaten to not help us in an emergency situation if he doesn't get what he wants.
I don't think we should give California anything until they let water flow down into their...
From the north to the south.
This is a political thing. I don't know what it is. You know, they talk about the Delta smelt. It's a little tiny fish like this. They say it's an endangered species. Well, how is it endangered? No wonder it's endangered. It's not getting any water. How do you... If you have a fish and you're stopping the water, isn't that going to hurt the fish?
Great point, Jacques Cousteau. This has nothing to do with a fish. He is so ridiculous, and we have to sit around with the place on fire hoping he gives us our own money back. Trump and his minions are planning to leverage any federal aid that they might give to force us to help him round up and deport our neighbors, as if we're Eric and he's cutting off our allowance to teach us some kind of a lesson, which on one hand you might think, oh, wow, what a truly, only a despicable human being would use disaster relief money as a bargaining chip. But on the other hand, there is no other hand. It's just that hand. It's just that grabby little hand of his. Trump blathered extensively with Sean Hannity last night. They got into all the important subjects your grandpa suffering from dementia likes to see covered, including the ongoing liberal campaign to steal your child's penis.
They don't want a child leave home as a boy and come back 2 days later as a girl. A parent doesn't want to see that. And there are states where that can happen.
That's right. In some states, they do it multiple times per week. Like, I know a kid named Ryan went to school, came home Rihanna. Thursday morning, Rihanna went back to school. Friday, she's Ryan again. And nobody knows what to buy her at Marshall's. There are states... No, there are no states where that can happen. Trump has, he's issued a number of executive orders. Some of them are awful. Some are just blatantly unconstitutional. But one of them, I have to admit, I'm a little bit excited about.
Lastly, sir, we have an executive order ordering the declassification of files relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
That's a big one, huh? A lot of people are waiting for this for years. For decades. And everything will be revealed.
$10 says we're going to find out Joe Biden killed JFK. I mean, he's JFK, RFK, Martin Luther King. He's also planning to declassify the KFC files. Finally get to the bottom of those secret herbs and spices. Meanwhile, the Republican-led Congress is hard at work on another mystery. They want to find out what happened on January 6th. Yesterday, House Republicans announced they formed a subcommittee to reinvestigate what has already been investigated. In other words, get ready for a whole year of numbskulls trying to convince us Nancy Pelosi pooped in her own desk. The mission of the subcommittee is to, quote, uncover the full truth about what went down at the Capitol on that day. Yes, we need to get the real story of what happened there. Please, if anyone has any information about this globally televised event, you must come forward immediately and share it with us. We know who is responsible for January 6th. He's sitting in the Oval Office right now playing whack-a-mole with his Diet Coke button, okay? I can't wait to see what they come up with. They'll probably make it a holiday. From now on, January 6th will be known as National Patriotic Parkour Day. The committee, or subcommittee, will be led by Barry Loudermilk, a congressperson from Georgia, who is the guy who gave the tour of the Capitol to a group of insurrectionists the day before they busted down the door. It's like putting the Hamburglar in charge of finding out who stole all the Big Macs. Meanwhile, in Ohio, they're eating the cats and dogs and no one's doing anything about it. There's so much dumb happening. It's almost funny to hear these dimwits go on and on about the biased left-wing media when we've reached the point that even when it comes to Christianity, Donald Trump now ranks higher to them than the Pope.
The cardinal out in the Chicago area said, "We oppose any mass deportations." Yeah, do you? The Pope, the day before Trump was inaugurated, said Trump's plan to deport migrants was a disgrace. All right, Padre, no disrespect to the position of the Pope, but you are way off base here, dude.
Yeah, bro, and your hat sucks, too. It's just pointy and stupid. Everyone should be required to have their IQ posted right next to their name. Like that guy, Carl Higbee, 86, right? That way we know where you're coming from when you say these things. Meanwhile, you know who's in California right now? The Bidens are here. After the inauguration, Joe and Dr. Jill took a trip to wine country to relax and enjoy their new favorite pastime, drinking heavily. Which brings us to Pete Hegseth. In spite of all the many serious allegations against Pete Hegseth and a resume that wouldn't get him a job running a Home Depot, Pete Hegseth will very likely be our next Secretary of Defense. He has the votes in the Senate. Trump has now tapped a total of at least 18 members of Fox News to be part of his administration, which is a lot of people. Most of them host shows on Fox News, which is causing problems over there because they now have suddenly have a major shortage of on-air talent.
This is a Fox News special report.
You're watching the Carlos Report.
Oh, rainbow sprinkler? Can they keep the children gay? I don't know. Maybe. And President Trump announced his nominee for Secretary of the Navy. It's me? It's me? It's me.
This has been a Fox News special report.
Interrupting this commercial to give you the best price ever on the best mattress topper ever.
Wow, that's poor Mike. Next time you say you have to go home and evacuate, remember we got Carlos standing by, okay?
Okay, whatever you say.